Hello everyone, this is Jenny with Absolutely Handmade. I appreciate you guys popping in and clicking on the video. Be sure to like and subscribe down below and share this video if you can. Today, IOD is going to introduce you to several new things in their release, and I'm absolutely amazed as always with their creativity. And I'm looking forward to seeing what all we can come up with using their new products. You guys just kind of hang tight. It's been a rough couple of weeks with stomach viruses and bad weather and all kinds of good things. So I appreciate you clicking back on the video. We're working towards 1,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate each and every one of you that clicks on the video each time I post. Now, let's jump into it and check out these new items from the sisters. The first one is Countryside Memoirs. This one's got some really cool little frames. It's one of the smaller packs, which is kind of nice because you can do smaller projects. You also can collage these together to do something really big and grand. I love the little butterflies, the little swallows. They've got lots of spring-inspired things. It's just going to be a really cool pack to get to play with. Look at the butterflies. Aren't they so pretty? The next one's Insignia. Insignia is kind of cool. It's got a frame, several different frames to choose from, and then it's got two different versions of monograms. You've got more of like the traditional, and then you've got the really super curly, real pretty feminine cursive writing. I just love those. The next one is Velveteen. Velveteen has got the, damask prints. Type things. These I've seen on some furniture already from some of our stockists, and it is gorgeous. The next one is the Gilded. This is Petits Ornaments, and it's got different frames you can use with that foil transfer. These are kind of delicate. Some people find them a little bit more difficult to use, but if you really kind of stick with it and practice, they really are really pretty when you get them applied. But it's definitely got that gold foil look to it. I'll flip through this book here in just a second, because I wanted to show y'all. There's an editing issue. I should have cut that out. Okay, so back to it. Petits Ornaments. We're going to learn these new names together because I'm still learning them. See how these really pretty. I love the bows and all the ornate detail. They've given you a full sheet with smaller ones. You've got a couple of sheets that have some, what I would consider more of like a medium size. And then you'll see here in just a minute, I actually kind of lay my hand on one of them so that you can tell exactly how big they are. Those are the ones I would consider more of like a medium size. But can you imagine putting those on jars or planters or those arch frames that I've cut, and the sisters have a version of it as well. I've got some more frames coming too from my laser engraving shop. And this little swag is really pretty too. That's all of them, all 8 pages. So you get 8 pages of that one. The next one is Wilde Bloemen. Bloemen. The sisters like to make us work on these names. This one's got really pretty, whimsical. It's got flowers. It's got berries. It's got, you've got moths and butterflies. There's some really pretty birds in a lot of these packs today. I know someone said something like, oh no, I hope it's not all birds. And it's not. It's spring. It's dragonflies. It's everything you think of coming into the spring season with all the pretty weather and flowers blooming. And look at that gorgeous flower. I love that print. The moths are so pretty. It's kind of got a little touch of, I don't know, it's kind of like they combined several of the ones I've done in the past. With a different flair to it, because to me this has got more of a whimsical look to it. Almost got kind of some of the flowers kind of have like a watercolor look to them, where they look like they're kind of brushed on. And I love those birds. I'm no bird expert, but I love those with the really petite little beaks. I think they're kind of cute. Little spots on the butterflies. Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? That green bird. Oh my gosh, he just pops. I can't wait to use him. And the frog is always so cute. I love any of the frog stuff that they do. You've got like the little bouquets. You've got some single flowers. You've got little buds. A variety of different flowers. I mean, it's just, you have so many options in one pack. And again, it's 8 pages. It's a good size. You can put those on plates. You can put them on furniture. You can put them on, again, those arch wood backers. Another good one. This one is Catharina. Catharina has some very pretty birds in it too, but it also has, the flowers are a little bit more what I call muggled, so that they're not like perfect and crisp, and I love that. I think it's really pretty. It looks super natural, and just gives you a variety of things. You've got roses. You guys, I'm also not a flower expert, but I love them. I think they're all pretty. I love all the colors. Look at that really pretty, delicate pink. I love the pinks going into spring. Gorgeous. That purple is really pretty too. You got some more birds coming up. Oh my goodness, that blue, powder blue is just so pretty. There's those birds. Look at them sitting on the little pink sprigs. I love that. So pretty. Gorgeous white roses. Looks like red roses. I do kind of know roses, so that one I can voice a comment on. There's again 8 pages of flowers, and you get all different sizes, small and large, so you've got all kinds of varieties. Lost Garden is the next transfer. This one I think is gorgeous. Again, this one's got a ton of like vines, which I think is really cool and pretty. I don't remember seeing those in the past packs that we've had. It's very feminine and very just real. Trying to think of the best way to explain it. Not petite. What's the word when it's got just very little to it? I just think it's so pretty. You guys, it's like after 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to get this done for the release because it's been a long day. And words are just not my friend tonight, apparently. Look at the vines. They've given you some vines to use, which I always love when they do that because that gives you a little extra something you can do. That one is one of the larger packs. It's the, I believe it's 12 by 16. You've got all 8 pages again. So we're going to go ahead and do a project with those. I loved that last one, the Lost Garden, and I just really was inspired by some of the flowers in the back of it. So here are all of our supplies. We're doing fusion milk paint, toasted coconut. There's the Jolie finishing wax, the fusion antique glaze. And that paint down there is called Grounded, and it's by Paint Couture. And it's one of those that has its built-in top coat. So we can wash the project off. You guys know I always mix up my milk paint kind of early so it has time to sit and thicken. And then that Grounded is such a pretty, it's got a little bit of like a gray hint to it almost. It's a really pretty brown. And I'm not necessarily worried about full coverage because this is one we're going to put on. We're going to paint that milk paint over the top of it. Oh, here's a trick. Y'all saw me pump the hand sanitizer. Those gooey, sticky dots that the thrift stores put on stuff, your price stickers, whatever, just squirt a pump or two of the hand sanitizer on there. Gosh, we all have how many gallons of that stuff left over since the pandemic. Squirt a dot or two on there, kind of scrub it with your fingernail, and it comes right off. You'll see the goo actually like roll up within the alcohol. So it's super easy to get that off of there. Here's us going in with the toasted coconut. I love this color. I think it's so pretty. It's a real creamy, it doesn't have a ton of yellow undertone to it, which I like. I'm not a big fan of of yellowy creams. I'm more like the gray creams. This one I don't think is gray necessarily, but it's not as yellow as a lot of the other ones. Right there, I was trying to show you. So I have kind of another announcement because I've gotten approved and I've already placed my first order with Sweet Pickins. So I'm going to start carrying their milk paint as well as this Fusion milk paint. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that is because I've noticed watching other creators using Fusion and using the Sweet Pickins. The Fusion, you get more of the crazing is what they call it, or the crackle. And I love that, but at the same time, I like it when it chips away as well. And Fusion's really hard to get to chip. It's very clingy to the projects you put it on, which is great when you're wanting to put it on and have it harden and do, you know, what it's supposed to do as paint. But when you want that old chippy look, it's just not the best paint for that. So we're going to try the Sweet Pickins and see how that does, because it looks like that gets more of the look that I'm going for. Now here, I'm just doing a quick, this is like a little tip or trick. If you are putting the milk paint on and you don't feel like it's got enough, see now it's got a ton of crazing. If it doesn't have enough of that crackle finish or the crazing finish, you can wet it down. And I just use one of those water wipes that I use all the time. Just wipe it down with a water wipe and then hit it with the heat gun again. The paint is reactivated with water. So you kind of wet it back down and then the heat intensifies the crackling or the crazing that you see on those projects. So just a tip there if you're looking for something. Actually, in the comments below, do any of you guys, have y'all used milk paint? Has anybody experimented with it? What did you think? I'm kind of curious because I'm getting into it more and more and I'm really liking the product. I think it just gives a cool look to it. I've got an old pie safe that I want to put milk paint on. It currently has about 15 layers, I think, of latex paint. So I've got to get some of that off, but I really want to use some of those really pretty, unique Sweet Pickins colors that I've seen. So I'm excited to get that shipment in. It should be here in the next week or so. So keep your eyes peeled. We will definitely do some type of a release or a new video with some experiments with that, since it'll be a new product for me. I've actually never used it. I've just watched people like Ginger Chick Rehab. She uses it a ton. I know Jamie Ray uses it a lot. And she just came out with her own line under the Sweet Pickins name. And I'm excited to get it too, the Bespoke line of milk paint. So that's in my order. So I'll have that as well. But it'll be in my Etsy shop. You guys will be able to order them there if you're interested in them. And here we've just done the transfer. You guys have seen me do transfers before. Lay it on there. It grabs pretty quickly. And then just start rubbing that transfer off when you get through. I was trying to see if I could match them up or change them how I wanted to do it. When you get through rubbing it completely on your project, you want to go back over it with that carrier sheet to go ahead and burnish it down. And y'all kind of saw me using the scissors. I was kind of clipping around it to help it go around that rounded shape. And here we are going in with the Jolie clear wax. I wanted to go in clear wax first. I want to go back in with the glazing, but I wanted to put the clear wax in first to protect that color, because I really wasn't trying to change the color necessarily of the project. I wanted to just bring out the craze or the crackle that came out in that milk paint. So you can see I'm rubbing this clear on, and clear acts as kind of a buffer. It also can act as an eraser. If you put something on and you don't love what goes on top of it, you can use the clear wax on top of that to kind of pull it back off. So here I'm just buffing in the clear wax. And you guys, I'm cutting out a little bit of the steps as far as like I'm showing you how to get started, but I'm not showing you with me doing the entire project, just for time's sake, because we had so much to go over this week. And I try and keep my videos between 30 and 45 minutes just so that you guys can watch, but not be here all day long. I don't want them to last too long. So that was that glaze from Fusion. We're just rubbing it on. And really my whole intention here was to get the crackling or the crazing to be more intensified. So you can see I really didn't want to change the color. It's still pretty much is the same toasted coconut color it was. And that was what I was trying to achieve. So next, this is the gilded. Which one was this? You guys, it's hard to see with that. This is Belle. It's hard to see with the lights. I don't have a ring light. I have diffuse lights, but it still kind of is hard to see. But the sisters gave us kind of like an edging or a corner. You could use these around things if you want to put insignias down. Oh, the insignia stamp. This would look amazing around that insignia stamp. But you can see it's kind of it's an outline or a frame for your projects. So it'll be super pretty. You can see where they've kind of used them down there. Now the paint inlays, I know you guys are still, a lot of you are super spooked by the paint inlays. Guys, these things are so easy to use, and we are going to do another video tutorial on how to use these again, because I really want to encourage people to use them. This can make you look like a professional artist without a ton of steps. That was the lemons, the little trim. I love these. The little, I've got it upside down. The little fish hanging just had me laughing so hard because I thought those were so cute. I could see that on a cutting board, and I think that would be super cute on a cutting board. So I'm going to have to try that out. I have the laser engraver, but I also have a CNC, and I've not gotten a chance to use it yet. I've had it actually for a couple of years and haven't used it. Look at those frames, guys. Look at those flowers, those bouquets of flowers in the vases. They're so pretty. And all those bows and details around the frames. I love it. I love it. I love it. But anyways, the CNC can cut unique shapes and things. So I want to use it to cut out cutting boards. It's kind of on my list of things to do. We've gotten it all set up while there's not been a ton of heat in Phoenix. And I think I've got it to the point where I can just run out there and turn it on and run back in when it's 120 degrees. Oh my goodness, the lemons. Who loves lemons? You guys just, when you see lemons, does it not just scream spring? Because to me it does. It's just one of the things. We have a ton of fruit trees here in Arizona, and I'm also a real estate agent here, so I'm always showing houses, and I get so jealous of the people who have the really beautiful lemon trees and the orange trees. Because my yard, I can't grow anything but weeds. I just don't have a green thumb at all. Look at that. It's a whole page. Can y'all see that on like a massive canvas? Wouldn't that be so pretty? Look at the angels. They're so cute. I love, 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 love all the traditional pieces they're throwing in lately. I know they've gotten some European influences lately, and I love it. Ever since we went to Europe, I can't help but just fall in love with these things. Look at the little angels at the bottom. So cute. So that is Portofino. And you get 8 pages. And guys, you can use those 2 times, if not 3. By the third one, it's going to have that really pretty rustic, faded look to it. Oh my goodness. This is the one we're going to play with when we do the paint inlay, because I absolutely love, love, love this very romantic pink. It's so spring. Look at the swallows, the birds on there. You can kind of see them. I know it's harder to see. You probably will see them easier in the print here in a minute. Look at this, like the little rabbits. You guys, we have such a long Easter season this year because Easter is not until April. It's like, well, it's I think it's on my anniversary or right around it, like April 20th or 21st. So we have weeks, guys. Snatch up this spring melody paint inlay. Look at these gorgeous flowers. This is what I have an idea in my head. I want to use these. And I want to try something I've never done before. So you guys will get to be there for the experiment. That could go horribly wrong, but I'm hoping that it works out the way I want it to. This green, such a pretty sage green. Is that not just the prettiest? Look at the rabbits. They're so cute. And that's super neutral. Like you could use that for boys, girls, all kinds of decor. It goes with all of your spring stuff. Look, there's more of that pink from the flowers. I love it. Love, love, love all of the pink flowers. I'm a sucker for flowers, probably because I cannot get them to grow in my yard. So, and I love that teal blue. Is that not the prettiest blue? It's got like a powdery, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know. The lamb, oh my goodness, that was another one. I was like, I love the lambs. I'm a sucker for animals, guys. We have 6 dogs. Like, I'm an animal person. I think this one is, yeah, more rabbits. Isn't that so pretty? I love that pink, that powdery pink. It's just perfect. That one, oh my goodness. When the sisters showed us that in the Stockist group, I went crazy. Look at those colors. Look how pretty they are. And when you do the paint inlay, they will be that intense on the first print. Look at the aged look on that box. Is that not gorgeous? Oh, you guys, I'm so excited. Okay, so this is Shade and Song. This is a stamp. And this one will be featured in next week's video. I've actually already made the craft. I'm ahead for once. I actually have gotten something, and I appreciate my friend Bailey over at Reclaim Grace. She kind of told me to do something I like to do and see if it would spark some creativity, and it did. So that one I love. This is Berries and Brambles. Sorry, Brambles and Berries, backwards. We're going to use this one here in just a minute. You'll see it on the next project that I've cut into this video. It was so pretty. I love all the berries. The berries are just super cute. Then we get into the molds. This is Blossom. This one is also going to be featured next week with the craft that we're working on. We're going to use a couple. So you'll see this one. I love it. My daughter is very big into Japanese culture, and all I think of is cherry blossoms when I see these blossoms, even though they're kind of a generic blossom. That's just what they remind me of. Look at that, all that detail in those blossoms, the leaves, each petal. It's so pretty. So pretty. This is Wild Berries, so we're still got some berry theme going on, which I like. That's definitely spring. When you think of spring, you think of going out and sticking your hand in the dirt and growing. Not for me, obviously, because I can't grow anything but a weed. But guys, the weeds in my yard are ridiculous. They love me. This one is called Sparrow's Nest. And I love this one. You're going to see a craft I did with this one here shortly as well. Those little nests are so cute, and they scream spring. So yes, in this instance, we're doing birds, we're doing eggs, we're doing nest. It's springtime. The birds come out, they sing, they chirp. Out here we have quail running around, which are always really cool to see. Look at the little nest with the eggs. Speaking of quail, like when I think of quail, I think of Bugs Bunny with the little one that whoop, whoop. I don't know if that pops in your head when you think of quail, but it does for me. Vintage Brooches is the next one. This one's kind of cool because it reminds me of the one from Christmas that we had. Words escape me. But you could use these like behind door pulls, knob pulls, if you wanted to put them on a piece of furniture. You can use them to frame in little cameos. You can use them to frame in those bunnies or the little lamb. Isn't that so pretty? The bibelots mold from Christmas. It kind of reminds me of that, but of course this one has more of a spring flair. Now the last one is Trimmings 4. We all love Trimmings 1, 2, and 3. This is 4. These things are wide. The one on the top I think would be gorgeous on, like, you could use that to disguise some stuff on like wood pieces if you've got bumps or bruises. Somebody mentioned making a cuff out of one of them. Now here's one of the, I don't know why lately, but I've been gravitating towards like the retro, and you see them there, the blue and the red. I don't know how many of you will remember. I mean, if you remember, throw a comment down below. But the theming was this really pretty blue, and it had lots of reds, and it just was like a really cute retro, and it's more of like a kitchen kind of theme. So that's kind of where we're going here in a minute with the berries. We're using the Paint Couture paints. I feel like I get the widest range of paint colors from Paint Couture. I love my Fusion paint, but Fusion paint just doesn't have a lot of stretch on the different colors that they have at this point still. And I don't know if y'all saw, this little basket was $2 at my favorite thrift store, Desiree Industries here in Phoenix. We're going to wipe it all down. And again, we're doing these kind of quick today because I wanted to get these in with the products as well. So a little fast. But we're going to go ahead and paint it with that blue. I love this color blue. It's gorgeous. It's like the perfect retro blue, what I would call a retro blue. But when I saw those strawberry molds, this is just kind of what came to mind was this theme. And then I had this little berry basket and I was like, okay, this is perfect. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to make this basket. Unfortunately, I didn't have the things to make it look like a berry basket at the end. It's just going to look like a basket. I didn't have the stuff to stage it, I guess is what I should say. I'm not making y'all watch me paint the entire thing. So poof, YouTube magic, and it's all painted. And this is that Paint Couture paint. So it has the primer, it has the paint, and it has a top coat. The top coat's rated for interior only unless you add the, they call it Extreme Guard. That's what it's called. Then it's UV rated for outdoors. So you could use it similar to Fusion paint. But right here you see me, I'm not using the entire bundle of berries right there. I just kind of picked a chunk to go on the ends of this basket. And you can see I'm kind of started with a ball of the air dry clay from, I think that is Jovi clay. I have several different clays. I think this one was the Jovi clay. And I won't make y'all watch me do this either. Y'all know how this works with those micro rims. The IOD sisters have taken care of us. It makes it super simple to use clay. I love the clay, but there's some molds I just cannot use clay in because you can't get it. I just can't get a good thing on it. And y'all noticed something just fell off and I was like, whatever, I don't need that. So I just plucked it off and put it off to the side. I could have easily have glued it back on, but we're dealing with just a very small end to that basket. Here we're making a second one. I find that they don't shrink and crack and break as much if you go ahead and put some kind of paint on them. So either put them on something, you can walk outside and spray a quick clear coat on them. Go ahead and use a very soft brush. Nothing too coarse because it's going to distort the mold that you just cast. But if you use a really soft brush, you can go ahead and paint these molds while they're wet. And I've got all of this on a silicone mat. So I literally can just paint down to the mat. I kind of slapped the paint on the night, before on all the colors. And this is day 2. I'm going back and really taking the time now that it's dry to color it in and make sure it's very dark and dense on those colors. I want them super opaque. And honestly, until I started painting, I didn't realize how many detailed pieces there were to these molds. So you look at the molds and they're kind of hard to tell just by glancing at them. But when you cast them, that's when like the real magic starts to happen. You see all of those details in the berries. Each of the strawberries has all of the little seeds in it. The little, like the strawberry buds even have like leaves with the little things on them. And here we are again using that Brambles and berries. I go ahead and scuff the whole thing, even though I'm only going to use one little piece because I forget from one use to the next whether or not I sanded them off to get them to where they'll accept the ink better. So I just go ahead and do it all at once. I'm using archival ink, which it's an okay ink to use. I didn't have any of the tomato red from IOD on hand, or else I would have used that. But I wanted to just put, and you can see where I taped it off, I wanted to just like tickle the edge of this basket to pull in some more of the red. Again, we're going for that retro color. And I'm going to stick this in my booth. We'll see how it does. Sometimes the booth stuff sells really quick, and here in Phoenix, it's kind of hit or miss. It's hard to tell what people are really into. But I do what I like, and I stick it in the booth, and if it doesn't do well, I'll do something else with it. But we're going to do the other side real quick. And y'all can see I've got the ends taped off. I didn't want it on the ends. I wanted it to kind of look like these pieces or little screens were added on the side separately. So that's why I saw it kind of slide there. So I'm not the best at stamping. I'm still learning. So bear with me. I do dry the ink, because if you go ahead and dry it, it's nice and set. And then I usually go ahead and wipe over them just to make sure there's no, rogue ink that's going to get off on anything else. And here's where we're going to put those castings on. Can y'all see all the details? Like the strawberries just blew me away. The amount of little seeds and things, things that they had on them. It just never ceases to amaze me when I get my IOD stock in. Even back when I was just a crafter that bought their stuff before I really was like so impressed with their stuff that I wanted to carry it and sell it as well. The amount of detail, I mean, look at that. Those leaves have tons of veining and tons of, 3D aspects to them. This is the other one going on the other end. And this is Type Bond Quick and Thick that I'm using on here. And guys, this stuff stuck within like a minute, if that. I pushed it down, pushed it on. Now, it's not dry by any stretch, but it is a Type Bond Quick and Thick, like it sticks. So we'll see that in a minute when it's all finished. Here's the detail. I cast these overnight out of epoxy. I'm a big epoxy fan. I love epoxy. Just because I feel like I can get them in there and get the detail out. And, I do have the quick epoxy. If I had to do something fast, I have that available if I need it. But I don't mind doing the ones that take overnight because I'm a night owl. And after everybody kind of goes to bed, sometimes I'll get in there and like set stuff up for the next day. Do any of you guys do that? Leave me a comment. Tell me are you a nighttime crafter? Do you like crafting during the day when everybody's kind of up moving around? I tend to just think better at night. I don't have my phone dinging. I don't have emails going off. I don't have phones ringing. Dogs aren't barking. Everybody's kind of asleep and quiet. So that's when I like to kind of get in my zone and craft. So, I loved these little sparrows. They both face different directions, which I think is kind of cool. The IOD sisters thought of that too. I put 2 coats of the buttercream chalk paint. So chalk paint, you have to seal with something. So y'all are going to see shortly, we're going to seal this paint. It's not good for, if you're just going to put it on there and leave it. You have to put something on top, whether it's a clear coat, a wax, a glaze, whatever it is you're trying to do, you have to put something on it. So in this case, I kind of had a happy accident. Like I've heard people say that the heat gun causes the epoxy to kind of flex and move. And I thought they meant just by a little bit. But guys, here in just a second, you're going to see, I'll pick them up. So the buttercream chalk paint takes like 2 seconds to dry with a heat gun. But look at how much it's moving. Like it's bending and it's not affecting the mold. It's not affecting the details. The only thing it was affecting was the shape. And the more I messed with it, the more I was like, this would be really cool if it cooled and had a little bit of an arc to it. So it's not just a flat thing that we're messing with. Like arcing it up the way I'm doing, you're going to see here in a few minutes why this is significant. So I kind of held it like that so I could roll it. I wanted them to be kind of bowed. I wanted the tails to kind of stick down. And the one in my right hand was dry or was cooling a lot faster than the one on the left. So I kept having to kind of mess with it. But now we're going to rub that glaze over it. And I'm only painting the top of these because they're clear. So from the back side, they look like they're cream color, which is perfectly fine. In this instance, it's not going to be a problem. We rub that Van Dyke Brown from Paint Couture glaze all over the birds. Make sure we get all the little creases and crevices. And this, I think with the molds, and I may go back on the strawberry thing and put some white wax on it. I really feel like they need a wax or a glaze or something. Because look, you can't see the details hardly at all in the one that's only buttercream. Once you put that glaze on, it really makes these castings come to life. Like that little bird looks real now. Like it looks like a little bird floating around. Is that not the coolest? Yeah, see, he still is bent, which I loved. I loved how they ended up flared like that. It just gave it a really cool look. And those 2 little rings sit on the table. I kind of showed them to you. I was running my mouth, so I didn't get to explain what it was. But they're just 2 little napkin rings that I got at Desiree Industries again. I think I paid 50 cents each for them, so $1 total. The little castings, we're just putting Guys, this craft, I mean, it only took me a few minutes to put it together for the video, and I did speed it up just to kind of speed it along. But honestly, in real life, it probably took me 10 minutes, and that was because I sat and flexed those epoxy resin castings for a few minutes, kind of just messing with them to see what I could do with them. So now we're going to use the Gorilla Glue for long-term permanent hold, and we're also going to use some hot glue just as kind of a quick hold, so we can go ahead and keep moving, rock and rolling with what we're doing. And I kind of tilted them so they look like the wings are covering the napkin ring for the most part. Thought that gave it kind of a cute look. And again, guys, if y'all made it this far in this video, I really appreciate you. I'm still learning how to do this. I'm still getting comfortable with the camera. I'm still getting comfortable with voiceovers. The editing still trips me up sometimes. So I appreciate all of you that are kind of sitting and, you know, bearing with me here while we're trying to get this sorted out. So then we go into the review. Is this basket not the cutest? I mean, it screams spring. I can't wait to put this one in my booth and see how it does. And it was just a random basket I've had sitting around forever. And I couldn't think of what I wanted to do with it. So this worked out perfect. Love that toasted coconut color. It's really pretty. Then the next project we're going to jump to is the strawberry basket. Is that not the cutest? You can see all the little strawberry details, the flowers. And on this one, the birds. Look how they're with the wings arched. Like, it just looks perfect. They're flying off the plate. It just is such a cute look for spring. Guys, I really appreciate y'all being here with me today. Check back in next week. Please like and subscribe and click that notification bell so you'll see all of the stuff that I've got coming up. I'm super excited about Sweet Pickins coming up. That's the next one. Oh, I don't know why I left that in there. I dropped the camera for just a second. See you next week, guys. Have a great weekend.